316 years ago, life in the Murim was simple and the vibes were immaculate. Suddenly, the NPCs stop what they're doing and look up, noticing something very wrong with the sky. As the heavens literally crack open, the crowd is paralyzed with fear. One look at the sky and their faces go from calm to pure, unadulterated terror, realizing their peaceful era is officially over. The sky doesn't just crack, it vomits out a nightmare. Legions of demonic minions start pouring through the rift, marking the official start of the demon invasion of Earth. These guys aren't here for a chat. They immediately declare war on humanity, swooping down to tear through the locals while the righteous faction scrambles to form a mighty army to fight back. The righteous faction doesn't just sit there. They mobilize a massive army, swords raised and spirits high, swearing an oath to send these demons back to whatever hellhole they crawled out of. Fast forward 3 days to Manhwa, and that mighty army is now just a literal mountain of corpses. A single, spindly demon stands on top of the pile like it's king of the hill, proving that humanity is way out of its league as they're completely wiped out. Within a single year, the demons have turned the world into a graveyard, wiping out over half the population. Realizing they're cooked, the righteous and sinister factions finally stop trying to kill each other and form one massive, desperate alliance. They make their final stand in Sichuan, throwing every monk and master into the meat grinder. It's a total bloodbath, with humans finally showing some teeth as they slice through the demonic ranks in a last-ditch effort to survive. Monks and masters throw every ultimate they've got at the demon hordes in a desperate struggle. This raid has been going on for 2 brutal weeks, but the Alliance's HP is hitting 0 fast. It's a total party wipe. The battlefield is just a mountain of corpses soaking in the rain, and with the last masters dead, the Murim world is officially game over. Every survivor left standing is rounded up like cattle, chained by their necks, and dragged straight into the demon world. A green, skinned guard towers over them, cracking a whip to remind these former masters that they're just property now. Among the broken is Bai Gangsa. He's unrecognizable, a bloody mess of skin and bone held together by iron shackles and pure misery as he begins his life as a slave. 5 years of hell pass, and for Big Gangsa, the nightmare has only evolved. He's no longer just a slave, he's a science project. Strapped into a grotesque demonic machine, his eyes are wide with pure terror as mechanical spiders crawl over his face and pump toxins into his system. While most martial artists have their energy harvested, Bagang's lack of inner power made him the perfect lab rat. He's been isolated from the rest of humanity, confined to a dark chamber where cold robotic arms treat his body like a puzzle they're trying to solve. The demons didn't just break his body, they scrubbed his mind, subjecting him to endless experiments until he was little more than a living weapon. Now, Bagang stands among their ranks, his glowing red eye, the only sign of the monster they turned him into. For decades, he was a forced recruit in the very army that erased his world. No longer a man, he became a butcher, spending years painting the battlefield red for his demonic masters. 5 years of dimension, hopping and non-stop slaughter have turned the former slave into an apex predator. Bai Gangsa didn't just survive the demon army, he thrived in the carnage, trading his soul for jagged armor and a mask straight out of a horror movie. His service was so legendary that the demons actually promoted him to commander. He's no longer just a tool. He's the butcher leading the next invasion. 120 years later, the former slave has fully embraced his role as a demon commander. He's swapped his humanity for white hair and a jagged mask that screams final boss energy. Underneath that armor, he isn't just a soldier anymore. He's a veteran of 1,000 wars who has seen more blood than most gods. Suddenly, something catches his eye. After nearly 2 centuries of serving the demons, Baigang finally uncovers the one thing he never thought existed. A secret that could change everything. Staring into that massive swirling eye in the sky, Baigang knows he's finally found the glitch in the system. It's the ultimate secret, but finding it was the easy part. He spent over a century playing the long game, masterminding a rebellion that would shake the foundations of the demon realm. Finally, the fortress goes up in flames. It's not just a riot, it's 115 years of built-up rage finally boiling over as the human slaves rise up to reclaim their freedom. 1 week into the rebellion, and the demon realm has been transformed into a literal graveyard. The landscape is a mess of shattered steel and demon corpses, all resting under a toxic purple sky. It's a total bloodbath. Arrows are sticking out of demon hides like pincushions, proving that Bagang Se's master plan didn't just rattle the cages. It broke the world. In the middle of the carnage, Baigang is barely clinging to life. He's hacking up blood and gasping for air, looking completely trashed after finally unleashing over a century of pure, concentrated human spite. Standing before him is a literal mountain of fire and malice. Baigang Sai is gasping for air, looking like he's about to drop, while this flaming juggernaut towers over him like he's nothing but an ant. After a week of non-stop carnage, Baigang is coughing up blood and staring into the abyss. He's given it everything he's got, but his body is finally checking out. The rebellion has crashed and burned. A massive demonic blade, complete with creepy eyeballs, is leveled at his throat as the Demon King delivers the ultimate burn. You disappoint me. Tarrant the Demon King looks down at the mess, mocking Baigang for throwing his life away on a pathetic rebellion. When the king tries to use his slave name Schwitz von Grentel, Baigang clenches his bloody teeth in pure rage. He growls, "Do not call me by that slave name." He's done being a tool for the demon army. With his last bit of strength, he spits out his true identity. "My name is Baigang Sa!" Tarrant looms over him, his fiery eyes glowing. He admits he simply can't understand why a human would bother struggling this much. The king reveals he's been watching Baigang for a long time, yet the concept of human defiance is still a total mystery to him. Tarrant admits Baigang is basically a talentless NPC whose only real stat is pure spite. That is your only strength. He mocks, looking down at the broken warrior. The king is genuinely confused. Why throw away a perfectly good slave life on a suicide mission? Baigang just gasps that he had to try it, just once. Baigang flashes a bloody, unhinged grin. He isn't even worried about dying, he's just gathering data for the rematch. "To make sure I can defeat you next time," he growls. Tarrant isn't impressed. He calls the whole rebellion an amusing, but pathetic attempt, treating Baigang's life's work like a failed speedrun. The king makes it clear there are no continues. Baigang is on his knees, leaking HP, as the Demon King promises he's dying right here, right now. "I will not." Baigang rasps, clenching his mangled, blood-soaked hand as he refuses to accept a pathetic end. With a feral look in his eyes, he slams his hand against his chest, finally triggering the secret he's been hiding for over 100 years. For the first time, Tarrant's smug expression cracks, his glowing eye widening in pure shock as he realizes his talentless slave has one last trick. Baigang lets out a blood-curdling scream, crushing the core in his hand as he forces his body past its absolute limit. Suddenly, a massive pillar of purple light erupts into the sky, tearing through the demonic atmosphere as Baigang finally hits the reset button on his life. The purple pillar of light explodes with a deafening roar, signaling the end of Baigang's long game and the start of his final gamble. Tarrant's smug face finally cracks. He recognizes the energy, its space-time reversal, a literal cheat code powered by Newsrun, the ancient evil god. Baigang realizes his 200 years of suffering are finally paying off. Standing tall amidst the chaos, he clutches the glowing core, knowing every bit of humiliation he endured was just the tutorial for this one moment. With blood dripping from his mouth and eyes full of pure spite, he screams one last promise next time. "I'll be ready! I'll kill you! You and the rest of your filthy demons! Every last one!" Tarrant just laughs, his fiery face twisted in a sadistic grin. I look forward to it. He sneers, genuinely amused by Baigang's last-ditch effort. The purple light explodes, and for the first time, the Demon King shows a shred of respect. "You are the only human I find worthy," he bellows as the world dissolves into chaos. The scene shifts to the peaceful Muram world, long before the sky turned red and the demons started their slaughter. But the peace doesn't last long. A jagged bolt of purple lightning slams into a traditional mansion with a deafening crack, signaling that Baigang Sa has officially re-entered the chat. The purple strike wasn't just for show. It punches a massive hole right through the roof of a traditional mansion, signaling a very loud homecoming. Baigang Sa is finally back, but he's currently planting into the floorboards of his past life, looking more like a wet rag than a legendary commander. Despite the rough landing, he's got a smirk on his face. He's finally home, and he knows he has exactly 10 years of prep time left before the demon invasion turns the world into a graveyard again. Baigang's eyes snap open with a menacing red flash. He's officially back in his younger body, landing exactly 10 years before the demons turn the world into a buffet. Welcome to Dragon Spring Hall, a prestigious school for the righteous faction. It's quiet, disciplined, and about to have its entire status quo shattered by a regressor. The sound of hammers fills the air as workers scramble to fix the roof. Turns out, falling from the future leaves a pretty nasty dent in traditional architecture. Construction is in full swing because crashing through time tends to leave a massive hole in the ceiling. The workers are baffled, scratching their heads over how a lightning bolt hit under a perfectly clear sky. The gossip is already spreading. The workers joke that the only one hurt was that good for nothing, proving Begang's past reputation was absolute trash. This so-called loser is actually a junior instructor who was an orphan taken in by a physician. The real kicker. He's a martial artist who can't use a single drop of inner power. In this world, that's basically playing a high-level RPG with zero mana. The workers share a nasty laugh, noting that while he survived the literal bolt from the blue, he's probably going to wish he hadn't. Once the school is done with him, a massive crowd is gathered in the main courtyard of the school. Begang isn't just back to save the world, he's arrived just in time for his own public flogging. Talk about a rough first day on the job. The elders step up to announce the main event. It's officially time for a high-stakes challenge for the position of junior instructor of spear arts. The crowd goes wild. Everyone's gathered to watch the school's favorite punching bag finally get what's coming to him. In this corner, we have the current title holder, Begang Sai. He's standing tall, but to the audience, he's just a placeholder waiting to be deleted from the roster. And in the other corner, Sundaeok Mang, a guy who looks like he bench presses boulders and goes by the humble title of the fastest spear in the world. The vibes are toxic. Questions about Begang's total lack of qualifications have finally hit a boiling point. It's winner takes all, and in a world where inner power is everything, Begang is looking like a massive underdog. The elder's voice booms across the courtyard, demanding a fight with honor. The stage is set for the main event, and the crowd is thirsty for blood. Sundaeok slams his spear into the stone with a heavy thud, sizing up his opponent. "You look better than I thought you would," he sneers, completely underestimating the monster hiding in a loser's body. Meet Sundaeok Mang, the self-proclaimed fastest spear in the world. He starts howling with laughter, convinced that the lightning strike story was just a pathetic attempt for Begang to dodge this beatdown. He whips his spear into a combat stance, ready to move. Since Begang actually had the guts to show up, Sundaeok decides he'll be a nice guy and end this match in a flash. "Give up now, and I might go easy on you." Sundaeok taunts with a shark-like grin. Little does he know, Begang is already mentally toggling back to his past life, treating this high-stakes duel like a tutorial level. Begang cracks his neck, loosening up for the first real fight of his new life. In his past life, he was the resident joke, the powerless instructor that every trainee used as a footstool. Without any inner power, the old Begang was destined for a life of pure humiliation. In the original timeline, he was stripped of his title, crushed in public challenges, and spent his remaining days scrubbing floors as a common servant. Sundaeok feels the shift in the atmosphere and starts sweating. "What are you going on about?" he growls, but Begang ignores the chatter and takes a heavy, dominant step forward. With a sharp snap of his fingers and a grin that screams Demon Commander, Begang drops a cold line. "I've been waiting like hell for this moment, you hobgoblin." That's all it takes to break Sundaeok's ego. Veins bulging and face turning a deep shade of rage, the spear master screams, "Wyo Lalstil Pon," as he loses his cool completely. Sundaeok slams his foot down, cracking the stone floor in a fit of rage. He screams that he was only trying to let Begang save face, but now the gloves are officially off. He taps into his reserves, a violent red aura flaring as he preps his signature speeding bullmare spear. He's determined to shut Begang's foolish mouth, for good. With eyes glowing like a demon and veins practically popping out of his head, Sundaeok lets out a primal roar that signals he's gone full berserker mode. He launches the first form Raging Bull charge, putting every ounce of his ego into a high-speed thrust meant to turn the protagonist into a human kebab. Sundaeok's jaw drops as he realizes his fastest spear just hit a whole lot of nothing. Sweat pours down his face as reality starts to sink in. The air whistles as his weapon slices through the spot where Begang's head was supposed to be a second ago. Before he can even process the miss, Begang is already standing behind him like a ghost. He looks totally bored as he drops the ultimate flex impressive force, but doesn't it have to land to count? That's the final straw for Sundaeok's ego. He whips his spear around in a desperate, violent arc, screaming "Yo Punke" as he completely loses his cool. Sundaeok is sweating bullets as Begang literally glitches behind him, landing with a soft PLOP that sounds like a slap to his ego. The fastest spear is having a full-blown identity crisis, unable to fathom how a supposed oaf is dodging his life's work like it's a tutorial mission. Baigang doubles down on the salt, yawning that at this snail's pace, nobody is ever going to take Sundaeok seriously as a teacher. Total cope. Sundaeok screams that the kid just got lucky, his face twisting into a mask of pure rage as he refuses to accept the skill gap. He slams his foot down with a violent crunch, shattering the stone floor in a desperate attempt to salvage his reputation with raw power. The shockwave rips through the air, punctuating the sheer weight of Sundaeok's desperation. He launches himself into the sky, turning a simple duel into a high, flying execution attempt, while Baigang just watches from below. "Di!" He screams, his eyes glowing with pure, unadulterated salt as he triggers the fourth form of his speeding bull mare spear. He comes crashing down like a meteor with his falling bull spear, aiming to turn Baigang into a permanent part of the pavement. Despite the incoming nuke, Baigang's gaze is ice cold. He's survived literal hell for centuries. A mid-tier spearman throwing a tantrum is barely worth a blink. Baigang's hand snaps onto the spear, finally ready to show this amateur how a real veteran handles a weapon. He starts twirling the shaft with such blinding speed, it creates a literal wall of wood in front of him. With a sharp whip, he settles into a stance that screams peak confidence, completely unfazed by the incoming attack. Sundaeok is reaching peak salt levels, his face twisting in rage as he screams, "Twirl your spear all you want. You cannot block this." Block. Baigang has a better idea. He channels his centuries of Demon Realm experience to conjure a massive fire. BL. Looks like someone brought a cheat code to a spear fight. Sundaeok's brain just hit a 4-on-4 error. He came here for a spear fight, not a wizard duel, and his only response is a confused fire. What? Boom! The fireball connects with the force of a tactical nuke, blasting the so-called master right out of the sky in a massive pillar of flame. The Hall Elders are absolutely losing it. They expected a quick public flogging, but instead, they're watching the Academy's reputation go up in smoke. Even the peanut gallery is traumatized. This poor guy's soul is leaving his body faster than the snacks falling out of his mouth. The fastest spear in the world is now just the fastest man on fire, screaming for his life as he rolls around the dirt like a burnt sausage. Talk about a heated exit. The elder calls it, his face looking like he just saw a ghost. The challenge is officially over. While Sundaeok gets doused with water to stop the sizzle, the announcement echoes through the hall. Baigang Sai is the winner. The good for nothing just nuked the competition. This power didn't come cheap. Baigang spent centuries as a slave in the demon realm, surviving the kind of hell that would break a normal man's soul. Looking down at the crispy loser, Baigang realizes the demon magic he spent lifetimes mastering was actually just a hyper-lethal version of classic Heat Yang Qi. Turns out, 200 years in hell is just one long, painful training arc. Baigang flashes a smug grin, finally revealing his secret sauce. He casually calls his world-ending demon magic a simple, fireball, martial arts technique. Since his demon magic is so highly developed, it's completely indistinguishable from regular martial arts to these guys. Talk about a massive flex.